Okay, we are at a marina. Nice, quiet on the waterfront. You can actually see the mirror image of the uh, bar, restaurant, and the conference center in the main house. And then over here behind the gate is the marina office, and we got big trucks and logging operations. And this is South Sound. This is down at the very south end tip of the Puget Sound. And here we have a Pacemaker 60 and a great big huge, let me back up for a second, both of these are for sale, 54-foot aluminum catamaran hull, single screw gas, Volvo Penta 130 horse. Both of these are for sale, and they're both about the same price, interestingly enough. That one has a big old radar pod sticking way up, and that one's got a probably 25-30 foot air height. Both are, and that's a wood hull, by the way, the Pacemaker. So both of them are really inexpensive. We're going to walk out the dock. Here's two of the three Columbia 22s that have no mast. A third one has no mast, and this Columbia 22 has a mast, but is for sale also. Lots of things for sale here, and lots of cruiser home type boats. There's one right there. Let me see if I can hone in on it. They sort of are a normal hull, like a semi-displacement, semi-V hull, but they got like a houseboat on it with a fly bridge. And there's quite a few of them here, and I'll show some of them to you. In fact, I'll show you right now real quick. I'm going to just walk out. You can see how close all this stuff is together. There's really cool vessels here that people live in. Like this one has a sea kayak on the back, and it has sort of metal roofing and all kinds of shingles, and it's just really cool. And then this is the Pacemaker. Just awesome. There's a crane for the launch and a big fly bridge, great big center console, and it's just all dolled up. Wood hull, tank, built like a tank. It's almost ice class hull. And the bow, just the lines of this are just awesome, unbelievable. And then here's another cruiser home. That's an actual cruiser home. And I'll try not to mess with names or anything, anybody's personal stuff. But there's a whole bunch of, here's a Fairliner or a Whitcraft or one of those. They're common. And then here's another home project, interesting. They're working on sort of like a little kind of it's another pontoon boat, looks like. Those don't use very much gas. Here's a little Tolly, a little gas Tolly, probably 32, maybe less, 28. Some sailboats. Here's another Whitcraft. That looks like a fiberglass Chris. Those don't look as bad because they're pretty easy to hose down. That's why people buy fiberglass. And then here's a little Johnson 15 on a sailboat. You know, lots of sailboats. Sailboats tend to be cheaper, but some of these other ones. Here's a Carver, flybridge, sedan. That's called a sedan. That's when there isn't a tri-cabin back behind. They call it a sedan. It usually has the sliding glass doors like that one does. Here's another home built. Yeah, pretty cool. And here's an Owens. That's just what I came from, but this one's all dolled up. That's what an Owens looks like when it's done right. You guys saw the other Owens that has fallen on really hard times. And then I'll show you the Whitcraft. It's right here. And this is the bow of it. And I'll show you the stern of it and the sides. That's the Whitcraft. And that's the fly bridge. It doesn't have the bimini top up, and it's a little sagging. It needs a little bit of work, but it's fiberglass hull, twin screw diesel. Amazing boat. And there's more of them in this row. This is kind of cruiser home style row. Whitcraft is like a cruiser home. Okay, so we're going to walk back over here to the other quay. There's another cool fly bridge over there with twin levels of glass and a woodie over there. You can see that woodie they're working on. Olympia something. Just a lot of really interesting boats around there. That blue one, that's a kind of like a houseboat. And then there's also a workboat for sale. That's just this massive, 30, 40 foot kind of barge with diesel and all kinds of gear on it, and it's been used for reclaiming boats, bringing them out of the water. That's that black one right there up against the main quay, against the main bar. All right, so this is the other side of that cool shingled boat with the metal roof. And we'll go out on this outer quay, and I will show you. Here's the back end of Big Toy, which is the pontoon boat, massive 54 foot. You can see how long it takes me to walk down the line of it. And it's got a great big huge sun deck on top, right? Just big, a big party barge, a big old toy. And then we're going out to the Whitcraft, which is 45 feet long, twin screw diesel, Perkins diesels, 2 of them, all working condition. It's got diesel heat and lots of space and a great big huge fly bridge for entertaining. Put a diving board up there. I saw one, in fact the one that we just went by has a slide that comes from the top deck down and you can just slide into the water. Here's another kind of cruise at home style boat, Mediterranean Barracuda. And then here's another one. That's all live aboard. It's plants and propane bottles and all kinds of gear. And then here's the Whitcraft, and it's got a little dinghy stuck on the back, and there's the fly bridge. And you can see the pictures. I have lots of pictures of this, including the interior pictures elsewhere on the site. There's the 5-horse outboard for the shorecraft, and great big railings. There's decks. You can walk all the way around it. There's all kinds of room in there. It's a very seaworthy vessel. It's in very good shape. And then I'll show you the boat that I'm on, doing my thing with the internet and talking to all of you about building a very large flotilla of vessels. That these are just the start of, and pretty soon we will not be buying much less than 50 feet and 100 feet, and we will be purchasing vessels in the $100 million or more to build a copy of range, which will turn some heads in the industry because most people don't ever even get aboard a vessel that's going to cost you at least $100 million to replace. Never mind own one and be able to share it with their marketing partners. That's what we're going to be doing in the next month or two, which sounds complete nutter, but oh well. And there's another fixer they're working on. Doesn't look too different than the old version of the Maverick, actually. In fact, it has probably just as tall a mast on it. Kind of reminds me of the Maverick. Not exactly the same. It's a wood hull, and the Maverick was a tank of a fiberglass hull. Well, here's the vessel that I'm staying on. It was plucked off of someone's backyard. It was gathering dust, and made a deal on it and got it all cleaned up. Made it into a cruiser, weekend cruiser. It's called a Neptune. It's got a nice big, it has the classic, for this size vessel, I think it's 26-foot waterline and about 30 overall. They almost all have a tiller. They don't have a wheel. If you look down the row, you see tiller, tiller, tiller. There's mostly tillers. There's tiller, tiller. Smaller boats have tillers. Larger boats have wheels. And then it's pretty roomy. It's got headroom because it's a pop top. This canvas here is covering a pop top that's an actually fiberglass top that pops up and gives you 6-foot 1 or 2 inch headroom, so you can cook and you can run around without bumping your head and crouching down. It's kind of a nice idea, and it's got natural light in windows, and there's a kind of a opaque hatch there which lets natural light in up near the bow. And you also have toys all over the place here, little like lasers and this sea cycle that you pedal, and there's a Hobie 14 just down the road, and another little skiff and things that you can learn to sail in. So just a really fun place and a really cool place to launch this project, because lots of these things are for sale, and even the ones that aren't for sale are probably for sale if you ask politely and you give them a nice figure. And it's just a good area to start this. So I will leave you looking down the row of these 2 largish boats that total 114 feet. 60, they're both about 60 feet. This pontoon boat, you can see the pontoons down here. These are aluminum hull pontoons. That means it doesn't use very much fuel. And it's just a little 130 horse Volvo Penna, so it just scoots along and barely burns any fuel. And I'll just back up off this kind of side quay here that there's more sailboats on, all the way down to the great big huge gear down there that they're working on, logs and such, shore water activities. But there's your sort of a cruise at home on steroids, if you will, with the big back patio and the sliding glass doors and the kind of funky looking, that's the front of the vessel, believe it or not. That's what goes to the forward. That's the bow. It doesn't look like much of a bow, but, and then you can imagine a 54-foot long vessel, how much top deck there is for play time and chaise lounges and chairs, and build a fireplace and whatever you want up there. You could put a whole covered patio up there that gives you an extra couple of 100 square feet. And then the big one, the Pacemaker, that's a 60-footer. It's a wood hull. I spoke to the owner and the guy who redeveloped that hull. It was in kind of bad shape when he got it, and he just fixed it all up. It's got almost everything new in it, and it's capable of world travel if you added some fuel capacity to it. It's an extremely seaworthy hull, 6-inch on center chines, and just built like a tank in 1969. So some of these older wood hulls are really a lot of money, a lot of bang for your buck in a boat, and people don't value them. And that's one of the things that we're going to be doing with this project, is creating leverage with undervalued extreme lifestyle marketing assets like $350,000 40-foot diesel pushers that you can buy for under $20,000, and they're all fixed up. They've been garage kept, just like these boats that have been rehabbed, and you can't get your money back out of them. So we're going to buy them, and we're going to turn them into an awful lot of money on the internet. So there you have it.